You ever wake up on a Saturday morning thinking it's going to be just another lazy, peaceful day, and instead by 9 a.m., you're staring down a food truck named Karen's Comfort Kitchen, squatting right in the middle of your front yard? Yeah, that happened to me. And if you'd told me then that a single truck could turn a whole neighborhood into the wildest HOA circus you've ever seen, I'd have said you were out of your mind. But here's how it all unraveled right on my own grass, one stubborn lock at a time. So there I was, coffee in hand, watching this big rig sink deeper into my freshly mowed lawn, oil dribbling dangerously close to my flowers. The delivery driver looked like he wanted to disappear, told me some lady said it was fine to park there, promised him a cash tip. I didn't need a crystal ball to know who the lady was. Karen. Our self-declared queen of the HOA, master of new rules and ruined weekends. She was the type who didn't ask, she commanded. I walked down to her house, 3 doors not nearly far enough, and she's out there waiting on the porch, smirk. Ready coffee, steaming. Relax, she chirps. It's just for a commercial. Your lawn has the best light. You ever have someone tell you your property is their movie set? I told her 10 minutes to move that truck, or I'd handle it myself. She rolls her eyes. You wouldn't dare. HOA rules say we all cooperate. Sure they do, Karen. Back at my place, I shut the gate slip on my heavy-duty lock and click it shut loud enough for the whole street to hear. The driver just blinks at me and I say, "You're free to leave if your truck can fly." A few minutes later, here comes Karen Slippers slapping, already yelling about obstruction. I lean on my fence. Funny, that's exactly what I thought when you blocked my yard. Neighbors are peeking out. One guy literally brings popcorn. Karen calls the HOA hotline, then the cops screaming about kidnapped vehicles. Nobody shows for an hour. I sat up in my lawn chair, poured some lemonade, and waited. By noon, the whole neighborhood knew thanks to the group chat. Pictures of Karen's truck stuck were everywhere. People joked about hosting a barbecue. Someone suggested painting the truck pink. Karen, meanwhile, paced and shrieked, trying to rally the board, but most folks just shrugged. The driver, poor soul, hid out in the cab, scrolling through his phone, muttering he wasn't paid enough for this. By evening, my lawn was officially a tourist attraction. Karen retreated, but I knew she was just loading ammo. The next day, driver comes knocking. Boss wants the truck back, but he's scared to cross Karen. Turns out she'd promised him free promo if he did her dirty work. That was all I needed. I called my cousin Mark, who just happens to be a lawyer, and started documenting everything: photos, texts, even the driver's confession. The evidence piled up like leaves in the fall. By day 2, Karen was on a warpath, accusing me of weaponizing my property, threatening fines, pacing like a caged animal. But I kept calm. Mark, in his off-duty sheriff's jacket, swung by just to say hi. The sight of him nearly made Karen swallow her tongue. "You the one who ordered the truck?" he asks. She blusters, but he's already seen her name on the invoice. Neighbors gather to watch filming the showdown. Karen shrieking about bylaws, Mark telling her HOA's not the law, ma'am. And boy, did that line travel, went viral on the neighborhood app by sundown. That night, emergency HOA meeting. Karen tried to crucify me at the front of the room, said I was destroying community harmony. I played the video of her instructing the driver, and the whole place went silent, except for someone's phone recording diesel rumbling in the background. Karen shouted it was edited. Vice President Gary just sighed. "Madam President, this looks bad." The meeting collapsed into chaos. Some folks clapped for me. Some said they didn't care as long as the truck wasn't on their lawn. The next morning, city code enforcement showed up, claimed I was blocking emergency access. I pointed to my deed and the legal sign. Officer checked, apologized, and said, "She's called every hour." Karen tried a new angle, slapped a $200 a day HOA fine on my mailbox for obstruction of visual aesthetics. Mark laughed. "Don't pay a cent, just keep documenting." So I did. Sent everything to the county compliance office. By nightfall, someone put a lawn chair beside the truck with a sign reserved for HOA Queen. My lawn was a meme, Karen was a hashtag, and even the driver said, "You're kind of legendary now." Karen tried every dirty trick in the book. Filed nuisance complaints, staged fake maintenance with construction cones, even put up new HOA signs about no recordings. None of it stuck. Every time she lost a battle, she doubled down, sending angry letters, sneaking around, taking photos, even offering the driver $500 to sneak the truck out at dawn. But the driver had switched sides, gave me dash cam footage of her ordering him around clear as day. And then came the twist nobody saw coming. Turns out Karen hadn't just been stirring up drama, she'd been skimming HOA funds for months. The bogus food truck commercial was paid for with community money. City inspectors found forged zoning docs, fake signatures, the works. Now, she wasn't just HOA president, she was a fraud suspect facing a city investigation. By then, Karen was cracking. Tried to rally her shrinking army people, just shut the door in her face. One night, she tried to cut my lock with two guys and flashlights. I caught them on camera smile for the sheriff, I said through the porch speaker, and they vanished. Next day, Karen went full meltdown, posted flyers accusing me of abusing HOA privileges. Mrs. Duncan, the sweetest old lady on the block, just knocked and said, "Don't you worry, dear, we took care of it." The neighbors, the same ones who used to whisper about the rules, were openly laughing now, tossing her letters in the fire pit. Finally, the city pressed charges. Sheriff showed up, handed Karen a thick envelope, told her she was under investigation for embezzlement and forgery. She stood in her driveway, pale and shaking, while the whole neighborhood watched. For days, her blinds stayed closed. A for sale sign showed up on her lawn, not upright, just tossed in the grass. Her empire was over, not with a bang, but with a whimper. The day of the hearing, I showed up at county court with Mark. Karen arrived late, sunglasses hiding her eyes, folders clutched tight. Judge listened, read the evidence, then just shook his head. "Ma'am, you humiliated yourself. He just happened to own the lawn." Karen got fined, ordered to pay back the HOA, and left with her head hanging. When the moving truck came, people stood on their porches in silence. Nobody jeered, nobody clapped. She looked across at me one last time and said, "You ruined everything I built." I answered, "You built it on other people's backs, Karen. It was bound to fall." She got in her car, drove off, and the quiet that settled over the block felt final. The neighborhood changed after that. Gary got elected president. No more color fines, no more yelling about trash cans or mailbox paint. People started smiling again. Kids played on lawns, neighbors actually talked at the barbecue instead of grumbling about the next vote. The patch of grass where the truck sat grew back thicker and greener, as if the earth itself wanted to erase her. Every so often, someone brings up the story points at my gate and says, "That's where Karen lost it all." And you know what? Maybe there's a Karen everywhere. Someone convinced that control equals respect. I learned you don't beat people like that by yelling louder or sink into their level. You just stand your ground, let the truth stack up, and let their own arrogance dig the hole. I kept the lock from that gate as a reminder, not a trophy, just a symbol of the day I drew the line. So if you're ever up against your own HOA tyrant or neighborhood bully, don't let them park their problems on your lawn. Stand firm, document everything, and trust that sometimes the loudest thing you can do is simply not budge. That's how you win back your peace. And if you think justice was served, or maybe you've got your own Karen story, drop a comment below. Let's hear it. Is it ever really over with people like her? Or do you just outlast them until the next one shows up?